certainly it is. It's an all-out kind of let's go get them kind of policy. But we would have seen the same thing in 2025 and in 2024, where over 1,000+ tickets would have been issued in the first couple of days. And I imagine you kind of picked this time. Lots of folks, for some reason, either the insurance runs out around this time of the year, or the inspection, or whatever the particular issue is. You know, you're kind of, a lot of folks, January seems to be their deadline day. For me, it's more around April. I would have received my license closer to my birthday. I think it was actually around probably April, May, I believe it's my particular expiration date. And it's something, I guess, this exercise is giving us a serious reminder. We have to check our documents, make sure and stay on top of when your deadline date is, probably make some kind of note in your phone, put some kind of alarm down the road in the future as to when your expiry date is on your license, because yes, there are those who they very well know and they're driving without a license with no care in the world. But there's a big majority, there's a massive number of folks who genuinely, I mean, it's a genuine error and misstep and misjudgment. You're driving your car and you know your mind on other things and you didn't realize, oh my goodness, wait now. My license expired 2 weeks ago. It expired 2 months ago. My gosh, you know, it's almost like when you're in a road exercise, a roadblock. That's when this particular reality sets in, and you're like, oh goodness, and it's a genuine mistake by many. But the way it's going now, the licensing, TTPS, all those on the road, they're not biting nice. Many are suggesting, hey, it's to put money back into the coffers. The minister said yesterday that's not the case. He says, hey, it's not about a popularity contest, it's about saving lives. And he says the increase is to treat with lawlessness on the roads and to save lives. I guess that's for you, honestly, this morning looking on to decide if it makes sense, that particular statement, if it's one that sits well on your chest. I would have seen the minister at the Arrive Alive function last year, the Day of Remembrance. Great and very cordial interaction with the minister, and I told him whenever he wants to step in and sit on the couch or join me on the Zoom line, we'll be so happy to have him. So I think now is a perfect time. If the Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation, Minister Zakur, is listening this morning, or anybody who knows him well, let's bring him in and we could talk about the plan for 2026 and beyond. Because I haven't had a chance to touch base with him just yet. As a matter of fact, I haven't had a chance to touch base with many of the ministers in government. And again, this is part of your role and function to engage with media, to use the platform to share the work that's being done, to share your particular mandate, because the reality is it's a temporary position and seat. No one is there on a permanent basis. We, the people, would have given the mandate, and last year in April, the people, Trinidad and Tobago, gave the current administration an overwhelming majority. It was a statement victory. And they said, listen, go forth and do the business of the people. And I think it's important for those in the driver's seat, the powers that be, to touch base, share with us, you know, just reach out. Let's have conversations so at least we could keep Trinidad and Tobago in the loop on all developments. So that's a hope, that's a projection, that's a particular mindset I'm going into 2026 with. And I hope I get a chance to touch base with Minister Zakur soon. We're looking at the PM. She said we might get obliged. She's going to look at what's happening. She says Parliament to consider a 3 to 7 day ease for motorists to fix vehicle defects. And that's where the consideration comes in. That's where the using, I guess the authorities using that sense of discernment, just being, you know, giving folks a little moment to get it right, because as mentioned, there's some folks who don't even know how you will know a taillight not working. How? Unless somebody literally identifies it, or they will tell you. You can't see behind your car. You might not know. So there's certain people, yes, I agree, they very well know what's going on and they're out there doing the most. But there are so many of us, law-abiding, good citizens, mothers, fathers, you know, folks who are trying to get over the line every month. You genuinely don't know. And sometimes that's where the little consideration, the discretion comes in from the TTPS. And I guess too is how you interact. It's an interaction thing too. There are many who, once they're stopped, they go into this defensive stance, very aggressive, and sometimes you're very, harsh towards the said officers who are on the exercise. And I mean, they're human beings too. At the end of the day, yes, they're in uniform and they have a role and function, and some might not like their role and function in the moment. But I think the best scenario in any setting like that, especially if they come and all, if they come hot on the scene and with attitude, you stay calm, you have to always, we could only control how we treat with a moment and how we feel. And yes, sometimes you're grinding, but when they go downhill, you go downhill, it all goes downhill. There is no chance there to make any kind of maneuver out of that scenario. But that is one we'll stick a pin on and we'll treat with at some point, if not later, with the TTPS tomorrow or next week. Let's head to the back page. Some football action. Newcastle with a big win yesterday. Literally the last kick of that game, I was watching it. It was a 4-3 victory over Leeds United. And also Shamar and Alzari passed fitness test. And Aram Harak, our very own, our local girl, she is to lead the Red Force Divas. So that's what's happening via the sport page. I don't stay too long with the sport because that's what Ian is here for from 7:30. We head now to the brief, and Marshall Montano is set to defend his Chutney Sukamona crown. Good morning to Marshall and all those stepping forward for the Chutney Sukamona competition, a competition I've hosted on 2 occasions. Skinner Park, I remember it well. Could have been around 2014, 2015. I had a great time. Thank you to George Singh for giving me such a great opportunity. And it's a show I thoroughly enjoy. You see Chutney Sukamona? Ooh, if you've never been, that is a fantastic show. Great, I mean, the crowd, the energy, it's nice, it's real nice. So, all the best for those stepping into the competition for 2026. Up next, our Business Guardian breakdown. Anthony Wilson joins me. So, see you soon. We come back with the Business Guardian headline, the details, and the first interaction with Anthony for 2026. We'll touch on that story and so much more.
Gaming Express Limited is a premium importer and retailer of the highest quality brand name electronics. We stock the widest range of PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Samsung, and Apple devices and accessories. Visit us at Shop 52, Level 2, Gulf City Mall in San Fernando, or contact us by phone or WhatsApp message at 687-7480 or 301-9797 or 798-1280. Like our Facebook and Instagram pages for updates on products and services.
By public demand, the draw date for the 3-car raffle presented on behalf of Queens Royal College is now extended to Saturday, January 24th.
Merry Christmas!
First prize is a luxurious, fully loaded Royal Ride Ford Ranger.
New draw date, Saturday, January 24th.
Tickets only $100.
All tickets already purchased remain valid, and additional tickets at $100 are still available at
True Value, Reliable Appliances, Christina Shoe Store, Kenny Sports, Unique Bookstore, Extra Foods, JTA Supermarkets, Police Credit Union, ABC Home Center, The Trinity Shop, PRW Enterprises, Sharon Bookstores, Starlight Drugs, Ishmael Khan & Sons, Shamir Spas, Modern Electrical, Bagat's Drugs, Steel & Sons Fashions, Bagalito Enterprises, Solara, also Crosby St. James, Athlete's Mother Park, Cincinnati Drugs Sangre Grande, Bellini Drugs San Fernando, IslandEtickets.com.
The deadline for ticket purchase is Monday, 19th January. Get your tickets now.
For more info, call the college at 622-1671 or the hotline at 491-1802.
It's time for the Business Guardian breakdown, our first installment for 2026. Let me welcome Anthony. Happy New Year to you. I know last Thursday around this time we were all celebrating the 1st of January. More or less, we didn't get a chance to connect then, so let me extend greetings to you, your family, and the entire Business Guardian desk.
Good morning, Jason. Many happy returns. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. It's been an interesting start of the 2026.
That's right.
So far.
That's right.
Very interesting.
And you're spot on. And you're spot on with your question this morning. I want to head to your story. We'll come back to the front page in a few, because on Saturday, every media house, all attention turned to Venezuela, our neighbors down south. And you're asking, what can TNT gain from Kamala's embrace of the U.S.? Clearly, the U.S., they went in, and we're still trying to figure out what's the next move. But we would have put our policy position there for all to see, CARICOM and the world to see very early.
Yes, yes.
So to your question, what can TNT gain from Kamala's embrace of the U.S., our biggest trading partner?
Right. Morning again. So I think in the short term, what the population of Trinidad and Tobago needs to be laser focused on is how we gain from the natural gas riches that Venezuela has, both near our borders, which is the Dragon gas field, and the cross-border natural gas fields that Venezuela shares with us. I think the government needs to be very upfront that in its dialogue with the United States government, which, as everybody knows, has declared that it is in charge and running Venezuela. The TNT government, led by Mrs. Prasad Bisesa, needs to be very focused and very upfront that what Trinidad wants to get from its declaration of support for the United States in the Southern Caribbean in the last 4 months or so is confirmation of the arrangements for natural gas coming from Venezuela.
Yeah. Well, again, it's a good read, and it takes us also to the front of the Business Guardian, where it says U.S. extraction rattles TNT's nerves, and we're looking at what could be a potential fallout in terms of tourists in the Caribbean. Well, consumers eyeing low-cost options, and experts really divided on the gas impact.
Yes. So, given the fact that this is such a new phenomenon, the U.S. going into Venezuela and extracting their president, I don't think there's any consensus with regard to the expert opinions on what is happening. I think one thing there is consensus on generally is that the U.S. action is outside of the bounds of international law. The extraction of President Maduro is being seen as a violation of international law and international norms. But the situation is as it is. We now have Vice President Delcy Rodriguez as the interim president. So it seems to me that the relationship between Trinidad and Tobago and Venezuela will have to be conducted by Prime Minister Kamala Prasad Bisesa with her counterpart in Venezuela at this time, Delcy Rodriguez. Yes, go on, I
was going to say, I would imagine if that was to transpire, there needs to be a healing mass prior to any kind of business being done. Because we know, we have heard, at least via the public utterances, and it's well documented, the, I guess, dislike and displeasure by both personalities. Now, I guess when it comes down to diplomacy and business and looking at the nation, probably they could put that aside. But there will have to definitely be some very strategic, diplomatic posturing and, I guess, a cooling period between these two ladies. That's the reality, yes. I believe.
Yes. Delcy Rodriguez herself was quite scathing in describing our Prime Minister when I believe this happened in December when the U.S. seized one of the oil tankers that were carrying Venezuelan crude. The language that Ms. Rodriguez used was quite negative.
I would say borderline derogatory. Borderline derogatory.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
Very disrespectful.
I would
yes.
accept that, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
very derogatory.
Yes,
yeah.
quite disrespectful, yes.
Yeah.
So as you said, there needs to be a cooling off period. Trinidad and Tobago, I think it is in our interest that we ensure that at the end of the cooling off period, the government, the Prime Minister, the Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, the Minister of Energy, and the entire cabinet is focused on getting the entree to Venezuelan natural gas. I think that needs to be the focus. And I also think we don't need to be shy or backward about the fact that that is the focus. That needs to be top of mind in discussions with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. The Prime Minister needs to, I think she needs to be in Washington, D.C. talking with the power players there. And hopefully the end result is that the Venezuela agrees to a long-term arrangement for Trinidad and Tobago to benefit from its natural gas with regard to Dragon and the natural gas resources that Trinidad and Tobago and Venezuela share with regard to Coquina Manikin and Lauren Manatee and others.
Let me ask you, Anthony, in the minute that remains, really fast before we wrap things up, am I living in an alternative dimension or universe? I'm seeing here KFC and Pizza Hut. They have said the sales have gone flat. Am I seeing correct here on page 7 of the Business Guardian?
Well, yeah, so that is part of a larger story about the impact of the economy, the impact of the geopolitics on consumer sentiment in Trinidad and Tobago. So that story includes...
Well, for some reason there...
the closure of home store in Shoguanas.
In Shoguanas, I saw that.
The closure of...
Movie-Tong in Tobago.
Yeah.
I saw Movie-Tong, yeah.
Movie-Tong in Tobago. Yeah. And also the reports we got from a KFC function this week that their sales have plateaued. So I think that tells you something about the consumer sentiment in Trinidad and Tobago. And it's not only KFC. We got soundings from other business people in the country. And I think people who are interested in the state of the Trinidad and Tobago economy need to pay careful attention to that story.
Well, thank you so much, Anthony. Business Guardian, as always, on point. And as mentioned at the very start, to you and the team, all the best. And I look forward to more of our impactful conversations for this calendar year 2026. All the best, Anthony.
Looking forward to it too, Jason. All the best to you.
Indeed. We head to beautiful Tobago next. As you know, THA elections heating up. All and sundry head to the polls on Monday. And to give us in real time the mood on the ground and to share with us the perspective going forward, I want to welcome after the break Curtis Williams, President of the Tobago Division of Chamber of Industry and Commerce. Tobago decides. Let's hear from the Chamber as we get ready for THA elections 2026.
things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800 TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800 TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry, premier insurance coverage for less.
Struggling with blood sugar swings, high blood pressure, or stiff joints? Take control with Aja Nutrition's powerful wellness trio. Berberine Plus supports healthy blood sugar. Blood pressure support helps keep your pressure in check. And Joint Aid keeps your joints moving so you can stay active every day. Don't wait. Choose Aja Nutrition for trusted, effective solutions. Available at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Feel better, move better, live better with Aja Nutrition.
President of the Tobago Division of Chamber of Industry and Commerce, Curtis Williams, joins me on the Zoom line. Mr. Williams, President Williams, great to see you. Happy New Year.
Hi, same to you, Jason, and I'm happy to be here for your viewers and listeners. Good morning.
Well, it's the home stretch for the THA elections, and before we even look forward and get some perspective as to the mood and the momentum going into Monday's poll, let's look back on the last 4 years. How would you give the current administration, the incumbent, when it comes to a grade on their handling of Tobago, the strides, if any, you would have seen within the business community? What's the general assessment of the last 4 years?
Well, when I look at the 4 years gone by, Jason, and we look at some of the sluggish, the economy have been very sluggish. We definitely will give them a 4.5 out of the 10. The reason being is that there have been a bit of a real slowdown in the economy gone by. They indicated that they had some cash flow challenges, and hence the reason that they could not deliver as they wanted to deliver. Despite that, we're looking forward to 2026, where a proper roadmap will be placed before us. And all we ask, instead of identifying 15 items, identify a small amount and just execute that small amount, because that will be deliverable, and not just trying to put 15, 20 items and you only could deliver 5. So be realistic in your delivery, be realistic in your plans, and just deliver, as I indicated, a small amount, so that then we can see that something definitely will be done, throughout the period. I know we're all getting up towards the 2020. We're actually in the 2026, and the election it will be on Monday. Whoever party is in power, we have read both of their mandates, both their blueprint and the big bold plan. And we have seen in those plans a lot of information, a lot of planning, a lot of things to be executed. But the challenge, as we always say, Jason, is that the proof of it is in the eating. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. So when it comes to delivery, when it comes to action items, that is where we're going to be judging the both entities, whoever is in the government. Because we have a big challenge in Tobago, where they will state all these fancy things and all these lovely things, and when time comes for delivery, we're having a serious problem. And the serious problem even extended to one, enabling the local contractors, two, paying the local contractors on time. We always have an issue after you complete a job, or even service providers, that you're not being paid within a given time, as the contract stated. So we are asking all these lovely plans that they have, when they engage in, please engage the private sector, engage the small contractors, and do live up to your expectation. Do pay them on time, so that, I mean, that we could do whatever we have to do when we do get paid, meet our commitments, etc. So I'm a bit concerned about all these lovely plans and they're not able to execute them within the given time.
You know, there were rumblings in certain corridors that lots of contracts in the last 4 years went to contractors who are based in Trinidad. What's your, I mean, I don't know if you have empirical data per se, but what's been the mood when it comes to giving of contracts? Was it balanced? Was it fair? Did Tobago get a chance to eat a food, as they would say, on the ground?
Well, what we saw, that major contracts went to contractors in Trinidad, the huge ones. The smaller ones, the school repair programs and others, very small contracts, they were given to the local content.
So why did the big ones go to Trinidad? Is it that Tobago don't have the capacity to execute the big contracts?
Well, that is what the THA stated, that the bigger contracts, and some of the bigger contracts, the THA and the local contractors did not have the capacity to do them. We asked them to break these big contracts into smaller, into packages, so that the local content could bid for these packages. There was another thing batted around, that the local contractors are not prepared to put together the packages, the tendering packages and the bid packages properly. And hence the reason why we decided to, within this new term, to run programs to assist our members in putting together the tender packages, and also to that's that whole bid process, understanding the bid process, and putting together your packages suitable enough to get these contracts. I mean, these things were battered around, and as you can see, most of the larger projects went to contractors in Trinidad, so we didn't get that trickling down effect. Most of our members, again, they indicated in the construction sector that these contracts could have been given to them. But was as indicated from the THA is that some of our contractors or local contractors did not pose the ability to do these contracts.
Interesting. Let's look ahead. Out of the policy documents, the manifestos presented by all the parties there, I know you would have mentioned too, I know IDA is also in the conversation, and they have a couple of other small entities putting themselves in the race. Any policy position would have given you a sense of encouragement when we consider investor confidence? Anything there will encourage someone to want to buy in to the Tobago product, whether it's an investor from Trinidad or the region or far beyond?
Well, I can see from the two plans, the two mandates, it stirs a bit of excitement, the creation of 7,000 jobs, in both instances, the creation of jobs, and we see the advent of people, the THA moving away from employing people and putting it into the private sector. Our big thing is to enable the private sector, because you can't tell us the private sector to take these 6,000 jobs or so, and there's no enablement. We have been plagued with challenges. Just the Forex is just one of the challenges, and some other infrastructural challenges and logistics challenges that we face with as the private sector. So you want the private sector to raise the bar, but you're not doing your part in raising your bar. You're not matching us. So you're just telling us, okay, go ahead and you raise the bar. But we as private sector, you know, Jason, some of the challenges we face when we go to the bank and we get a letter from the THA to say, okay, fine, there's a commitment and we will meet our commitment. But when time comes for payment, you have a bit of challenge there. You don't always get payments on time. And so the banks always look at you with a cookie eye in the local panel. So it's important that when we get these letters of commitments from the THA and we take it to the financial institution, the financial institutions could say, okay, yes, it seems like this looks solid, so I can advance you some money to start the project, as the case may be, and so forth. So without these kind of commitments and this enabling environment, it's very difficult. So all the plans for us to really take it on as a private sector, And we really want to raise the bar. But again, as I indicated there, sometimes when we have challenges with cash flow, and in most instances we do, in spreading projects around, even from the central government. We have agencies like WASA, and Tech sometimes just don't pay you. They owe you for months. We're talking about in excess of 7-8 months they owe you. And you as a small business operating in Tobago, you don't have that flexibility with that kind of cash flow to do anything. Sometimes you just crumble. Sometimes you have to sell out equipment. Sometimes you have to delay paying staff, statutory obligations, your NIS, your income taxes. You just can't meet them. And then that pressure is upon you as a contractor.
Let me ask President Williams, any policy document speaks to a seamless and robust air and sea bridge? I know there are lots of concerns, and the sea bridge issue impacts, obviously, the movement of product, supplies, the full works. I mean, that's the pipeline that keeps Tobago running. Any policy document there that give you a sense of optimism?
And Jason, you hit the nail on the head, and that's when we speak about logistics. So you have all these lovely plans, but nobody sits. You have to sit close and look at the logistics. How are we going to move goods from Trinidad to Tobago and vice versa? And the documents speaking on that haven't narrowed down into it. It's a bit vague. So, but we wanna tell the THE, the new THE that coming into being, that it's important that they sort out the logistical issues of that cargo. Definitely, that cargo sea bridge is really posing a bit of challenges for us as a private sector personnel. It's really, really, really good. We know that on the 12th, the cargo star is gone. Or replacement may come sometime on the 20-something of the month. And then we have a little gap there between the 12th and when that vessel do come. All right. So, I mean, based on what I see from my point of view, we still have stock, so some of us could still move on for the next couple of weeks. But come month 10, we definitely will need that vessel back into operation. So it's a seamless transition. We're trying to find a center spot that we could really make this thing work for us. So we're asking the THE, the new administration, pay a little bit of focus on the logistics, moving people between Trinidad and Tobago, whether it's the sea bridge or the air bridge, because tourism plays an important part to us. And if folks don't have confidence in coming across to the island, whether international or domestic, then they won't come. And that's the sector that will just definitely fail.
Let's stay in the waters for a few. It's cruise ship season. How's that panning out? Is there any kind of fallout because of the geopolitical uncertainty? Well, I mean, obviously we saw there was a strategic extraction that transpired on Saturday, but still we're in a time of not knowing what's next. We heard lots of conversations about the radar. Did that impact any kind of arrivals? What's the tourist product like right now, especially with foreign tourists in Tobago?
Jason, we don't want to hide our heads in the sand, and we know the tension between Venezuela and the U.S. is really affecting us, and it definitely moved from our hotels, because some of our hotels, as we indicated, the guests in them did cancel, and that will go into the tourism. That definitely will go into the cruise ship environment. We even had a conference here, Cardiff, sometime later on this month, and because in that conference had U.S. base, I think that so one or two members of the team was U.S. based, and they decided that it's in the best interest that they cancel, because the tension is growing. There's going to be a second wave. We don't know when the second wave is going to be, and that tension of you really coming into a region where the uncertainty is not there, and you would definitely don't, you cancel plans. So we know we will have some drop out of it. We know we will have some challenges going forward, because if it's American vessels, the guests, they come into the island, and a mass, most times where these mass of people gathered is an ideal for terrorists and all guys who thinking bad for us. So it's important that we monitor the situation. It's something that we have to monitor very, very closely. Where a mass of people are gathered, especially Americans, is something for us to be concerned. And we just don't bow our heads into the sand and say, oh no, nothing will happen. Even our carnival will be affected. So Jason, with this tension going on.
You're considering the February carnival, or you're looking at the October carnival?
The February Carnival in Trinidad and Tobago will be affected. Because where a mass of people gathered, especially Americans, it definitely going to have an effect.
So we can confirm based on your data, most of the cancellations are foreign tourists. It's not really impacting because, I mean, we are Trinidad and Tobago, so the same concerns Tobago will have about what's happening, Trinidad will have. So I would imagine the Trinidad, the mommy, the daddy, the family that would leave on a Friday to go spend a weekend in Crown Point, to go somewhere in a guest house till Sunday, that continues. The local part of it still running smooth, but, well, at least I'm asking, is it still running smooth? Is it the cancellations more on the foreign side, or we even seen cancellations with Trinidadians?
No, the cancellation is more on the foreign guests coming down here. And seeing all the headline news about the tension between Venezuela and the U.S. because we are smack in the center of it all, and we know for sure we did have some cancellation within our tourism sector. A couple of the hotels and the villas, they did indicate that the foreign guests did cancel, and we're looking forward, as I said, in the carnival season because based on the utterances coming out from the U.S., there's going to be a second wave, and the second wave is going to be bigger than the first wave. Jason, there may be some spillover. If I was traveling, I wouldn't come in the region if I know these things are happening. I personally wouldn't come in the region because I know what war is like. And I wouldn't definitely not put myself in a position where I could be trapped or something could really happen to me and my family. So it's just realistic. We have to be real. And we don't hide. And I don't know why we are hiding. No one wants to talk about the real stuff. Everybody wants to paint the picture like, oh, we are nice. Everything is going to happen nice. But your next door neighbor is in conflict with the U.S., and which is just a stone throw away from you. And you're pretending like everything is good and you're going in the grocery and smiling.
Yeah, I see you're very passionate about it, President Williams. As we wrap things up, on a personal note, looking at the campaign through your strategic lens, I'm sure a very neutral lens there, what's the tone like? What's been the general attitude with all the parties? Is it something that's more on the cordial side, or are we seeing a bitter style of politics as we get into the home stretch towards Monday?
As we see this home stretch, a lot of issues. Social media have been really plagued with a lot of things coming forward. The conventional media is not being used a lot. Social media has been used a lot in this campaign, and I can see this week. I mean, my phone is buzzed with a lot of things happening on social media between the two parties. There's a bit of tension. The tension is getting higher and higher. So it will be a real tough fight coming down there to the grounds. Everyone is fighting for the coffers, as I can see. But I mean, the decision will be made on the 12th, and we will all see what happens. But all I could urge the parties is to keep calm. Keep calm, Tobago. We have to live after the election. So just keep calm and don't get into the personal and all the violence and all the whatever that may be brewing in the corner. Leave that alone. Leave the flags issues out. Leave all your issues out. Come and tell us how we want to govern the Tobago come after the 12th. And that's what we want to hear as a business sector.
President Williams, as always, sincere thanks. Great conversation. And I'm sure when the dust settles Monday night into Tuesday and next week, I can guarantee we will be touching base before the end of January. So I look forward to our next discussion, God spare.
Thank you, Jason, and all the best to you guys.
Same to you. That's President Curtis Williams, the man who runs the chamber there in Tobago. Well, we come back, the police and youth segment, as always, very important. But we'll try to get some calls in first. Open forum next. See you soon.
Your one-stop, most convenient, most helpful, most caring community pharmacy. Our pharmaceutical services include dispensing medicines, repeat dispensing, clinical governance, but we also have a fully stocked convenience store featuring our refreshment aisle, grocery lane, personal care products, toys, pet supplies. We are most conveniently located out of the traffic, just 2 minutes off the highway in Heartland Plaza in Deba Chaguanas. Contact us on 220-8705 or 470-5938 and visit us soon.
This is John. John has just opened a new restaurant and is already questioning his life choices. Observe his eyes. He's trying the open wide to stay awake technique. John worries about many things like that overpriced stove, But there's one thing John doesn't stress about: his investments. First Line Securities, helping Trinidad and Tobago invest for almost 2 decades. Invest with us.
14 minutes moving up to 7 o'clock on this Thursday morning. Let's remind you ways you can contact us. There's one way, the email address, tmb@cnc3.co.tt. Simple, short, concise. Tell us, what you're about, when you want to come in. And our producer will get back to you and we'll see you soon. So we give thanks. We could do it here clearly live. We could have our conversation live or via the Zoom line. See you soon. Let's head across to our social media handles. Instagram, Facebook, and X. Formerly Twitter. That's right. Kijan, I must say, very active via X. You get lots of updates from Kijan there. Our Facebook feed, it's very, very robust. And, Instagram is where I get lots of the information. Also, I get information via our CNC3 mobile app. I got it on my smartphone. From the time I heard about it, install. And it's definitely my number one source, your number one source for verified breaking news and all your favorite content and programming details. Let's head across to the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian, the legacy product here. 108 years in the game, going strong. Now, we want you, as the year is now waxing warm, we're now getting into 2026, you want to get your subscription? Well, this is a good time. Visit guardian.co.tt so you can enjoy the Guardian on your desktop, tablet, or mobile today. Where's our food for thought? Words to inspire on this Thursday morning. Let's read together. Once you replace negative thoughts with positive ones, you start having positive results. Again, once you replace negative thoughts with positive ones, you'll start having positive results. Mindset, so important. So important. Projection. Having that vision board, whether it's something visual or you just repeat it in your mind, and eventually you'll start to walk in it and just, build in that kind of energy and frequency. Great words to inspire. Let's see what's happening via our world weather app today, and as it pertains to Trinidad and Tobago. Today is expected to be mostly sunny and at times breezy with 1 or 2 brisk showers during the early morning or late afternoon. Now, seas are moderate with waves between 1.5 to 2 meters in open waters and around 1 meter in sheltered areas. The forecast high is 31 degrees Celsius in Trinidad and Tobago and 30 degrees Celsius in Tobago. It feels a bit hotter though, because yesterday, and I think it would have been probably Tuesday, that was some heat. Had a slight rain in South, funny enough, on Tuesday. But for those of us here in Port of Spain and Rima, west side, you see all around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, it's stinging. Yeah, serious heat in this early part of January. So we get ready for your calls. Up next, touch base 624-8721 and 627-8658. See you soon. Oh, we're going straight to the calls. Oh yeah, nice. Okay, I've been given the all clear to go immediately into the calls. I thought we was going to take a little pause to let folks gather themselves. So, Faizo, you're live.
Brother Jason, morning Trinidad and Tobago.
Welcome, Faisal. Great to hear you.
Well, I am a little bit relieved this morning, Jason.
Yes?
That the Prime Minister has been listening at least, because I saw she made some promises. Now, I want to remind Trinidad and Tobago, party comes second, country comes first.
Yeah.
And you would have seen I would have gone on a campaign to get some issues fixed.
Of course.
And I'm saying once people come with consciousness and collectivity, we could get things changed. I mean, look at what happened when the public stands up, Jason. Yes?
Of course,
so
Faisal.
I'm saying to Trinidad and Tobago, sometimes we need to put the party aside, and be critical where it is deserving. And I will continue to do that because I love my country.
Yeah, Faisal.
Nice, my brother.
Well done, Faisal. I mean, Faisal, you're a fair man. Faisal is, no secret, Faisal's political allegiance. But he's always one to be critical. He will call it as he sees it. And I think, that's indeed a tremendous way to approach it. So thank you so much, Faisal. All the best to you and the family as always. And I still want to see Faisal, man. I missed him by like about a half an hour for Arian's Bazaar last year, St. Francis Bazaar last year. Who's out there? Good morning. Hey, Sawa. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. How are you doing, sir?
Good, Sawa. Welcome. Happy New Year to you.
I just want to raise a comment here. I saw the minister speaking and having last week concerning airspace, which was kind of issued by FAA in the States about the airspace. And I'm saying airspace is airspace. How some airlines is warned about not flying a particular airspace, but carrier airlines could fly. That's all kind of funny to me. It's in airspace. So my mind is that is some kind of concern that some trouble will take place. Because it's serious space, serious flying. So just want to put that out there. Thanks so much. Okay.
Yeah, all right, Sawa. Thank you. Interesting point there. Because yes, Caribbean Airlines was able to operate last week, Saturday especially, like usual, but I know there would have been some delays or probably cancellations per se with the airlines that come out of the U.S. This will be namely the American Airlines, the JetBlue, I think Delta also. There's a Delta that goes to Houston. There's the JetBlue to New York, I believe, and of course the American Airlines with their hub being in Miami with those daily flights. I mean, that's one thing. I mean, the PM, she was not lying when she mentioned the relationship. I mean, we've all known that it's well documented. I mean, most of us, if you're honest, there is some family member somewhere in the U.S. Flights to the U.S. every day are filled to capacity, back and forth. So I would imagine there was lots of careful thought, but at the same time, there are many who suggested that taking a more neutral stance, a more measured approach might have been best. But I guess sometimes your hands tied because the reality is the U.S., that relation with that superpower that is the United States of America, it's second to none. And so many of our family and children and your immediate family out there. All right, so it's an interesting dynamic. Good morning, you're live. Okay, so we try again. And, so by all means, it's one of those scenarios where, and there are many too who, let's be real, there are many too who admire, the U.S., but there are many like myself, as much as there might be that particular admiration per se, there is a criticism, and also we have to have that kind of independent thought when we look at the foreign policy and what would have happened. And in the words of deceased General Powell, he said, once you break it, you have to own it. And we have seen many times before with Libya, with Iraq, with Afghanistan, what would have transpired. I hope and I pray that does not transpire with Venezuela. Things are still very calm with our neighbors down south. But if for any reason there's any kind of power vacuum, well, it's not any power vacuum right now because the regime remains. They just removed the head. But if for any reason, any kind of militia, anybody decides, you know what, let me take it upon myself to get in the conversation, that is when it's going to hit the fan, and that will be a major cause for concern. But we can't speak to what's not taking place. That's not the reality of the moment, and I guess it's a wait and see, and we try to stay calm under the circumstance. Let's head down south to Pleasantville. Good morning.
Good morning, Jason.
Welcome, my friend.
Yeah, thanks. Jason, I'm seeing now where the Prime Minister seems to be in a habit of creating a problem where there is none, and then coming to say that, look, I fixed the problem. Look, I fixed the situation. They have come up with these increased fines, and now she's accusing the law enforcement officers, licensing officers, police officers of terrorizing the population. Those were her words. She, after calling the country a lawless dump, she's hiding now behind her ex account. She's still not seen in action, refusing to face the population, to face the media with the tough questions and answers, refusing to be either misunderstood or to be judged as a leader. Now she's accusing these officers of, when they're doing their job, when they're called upon to do their job, as being terrorizing the officers. This reminds me very much of what happened in Tobago a couple of years ago when Mr. Farley had said that the officers from Trinidad were coming up to Tobago and practically doing the same thing. The government, the Prime Minister, has to decide what she really wants. She's creating problems, and then she's coming now to put it to the public that she's fixing everything. This is totally wrong and unacceptable, Jason.
Yes, Pleasant. Good morning. I hear you loud and clear. In all fairness, though, I must say at least there is some window of, or at least someone was able to get into the Prime Minister's ear, where I'm seeing on The Guardian this morning, they're saying that Parliament to consider 3 to 7 day ease for motorists to fix vehicle defects. If that comes into play based on just response and being able to listen to the cries of the people, I give thanks, because as I mentioned earlier, some folks genuinely didn't know. They really didn't know, and it's almost like within the roadblock scenario, they're like, oh my goodness, daylight, so the discretion, that's all what people ask for. Let's take one more. Thanks, Pleasantville, as always. Let me take one more from Sawa. Sawa. Good morning. Also, Sawa gone. So, we're looking at the big story out of the U.S. and the scenario with a lady by the name of Renee Good, now deceased. This took place yesterday morning. It's ICE and, I have to say over-exuberance now. They're framing this, the Department of Justice, as domestic terrorism, because apparently she tried to bounce down the ICE officer. But you see anybody, she swerved, she tried to make a 3-point turn to get out of the scenario. Anybody approaching you on ICE, they're very aggressive. Huh? So she would have probably been nervous. Let's play that one more time, Sheldon. This is a most unfortunate circumstance. And the lady who was in the SUV, she died due to because of the gunshot from the ICE officer. And we saw protests up to last night. That's in Minneapolis, I believe it is. This transpired. The same place where George Floyd also lost his life. This is going to be a real sour point for our friends in the U.S., and it's going to be one of those scenarios that could escalate into an even bigger protest, and it could also cause the National Guard to descend on that particular state. So we monitor this story. Again, it's a lesson for all of us, especially those in law enforcement, those with that sense of authority to sometimes hold your hand, and also for us to try to, I wouldn't even say, I don't even know how to analyze that scenario, because I was going to say sometimes we need to be patient, but that's you can see what you've seen for yourself what transpired. That's a most unfortunate circumstance. Let's get ready for the 7 a.m. news update. Much more after 7.
Get the best back-to-school specials at Southern Food Baskets. Anchor cheddar and vegetarian cheese, 250 grams, 2 for $44.95. Golden brand margarine, 227 grams, 3 for $19.95. Wings, 1 kg, $29.95. Protect soap, 3-pack, $18.95. Colgate Great Regular Flavor, 4 ounces, 2 for $29.95. Soft and Pretty bathroom tissue, 12-pack for $18.95. Offers available while stocks last.
Good morning, I'm Kay Marie Fletcher with Headline News on CNC3 and the TBC Radio Network. The Director of Public Prosecutions has ordered charges against 2 men for the murder of firefighter Bruce Lazama. Investigators identified the suspects from CCTV cameras Lazama installed at his Arima home after 2 break-ins last year. The men are expected to appear before a High Court master by week's end. 46-year-old Lazama went missing on December 27th after 2 armed men abducted him from his home and forced him into his silver Tida. His car was later found abandoned on Tumpuda Road South. His body was discovered 3 days later down a precipice along Blanchisseuse Road. Relatives say they are glad justice is being served, but admit his killing left a void. Chief Secretary Farley Augustine says he would personally destroy the U.S. military radar in Tobago if he believed it was assisting the U.S. with attacks on Venezuela. Augustine, who also leads the Tobago People's Party, made the comment during an interview with Tobago Channel 5 yesterday as he reacted to the arrest of deposed Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and the U.S. airstrikes ordered by President Donald Trump.
I have said that consistently to Tobagonians that I will be the first out there to cry foul, to even breach the law myself and go down there and mash up the radar myself. If it is, I believe that it was the intent of the United States government to use Tobago soil or Tobago waters to make a strike against Venezuela.
Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar has announced that the government will head to Parliament in the coming weeks to introduce a warning system for certain vehicle defects, giving drivers a fixed period to make repairs before fines are enforced. These range from 3 to 7 days depending on the violation, covering issues such as defective lights, windscreens, mirrors, horns, excessive smoke, and other vehicle faults. She made the announcement in response to the public outcry over the recent spike in traffic tickets, saying the surge in violations confirm ongoing lawlessness on the nation's roads. The Prime Minister criticized drivers who claim they were unaware of expired documents or defects in their vehicles, insisting many knowingly ignore the law. Those were your 7 a.m. news headlines. We'll have another news update at the top of the hour right here on CNC3 and the TBC Radio Network.
Recession have you down? Don't lose hope. Head on down to Tire Clinic for the recession deals. Big savings with our road hazard warranty on Dunlop 2021 Falcon tires. Available at Tire Clinic, Cuba, Chaguanas, and Pleasance Park. Tire Clinic, a tire for every need. Call 636-8973 or 636-2958.
Russell joins me. Our first conversation for 2026. I want to wish him, his family, and by extension, his colleagues in the TTPS, Happy New Year. I know you're at the center of such lots of debate and conversation, but listen, you know, as I always tell people, you all don't make policy, you all enforce policy, and we have found ourselves in a very interesting place at the start of 2026, but we'll treat for that later. Happy New Year to you, man. Welcome.
Well, good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. On behalf of my Commissioner of Police, Deputy Commissioner, the entire executive and first and second division officers of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, Happy New Year and Happy Carnival. Happy New Year to you, Mr. Williams,
yes.
And Happy Carnival to you, your family, and everybody here at CNC3.
Thank you so much. Are you, and of course, you know, I appreciate the greetings same way.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you surprised with the lack of compliance, the fact that everybody's scrambling over the line? I know we're going to deal with back to school tips and stuff in a few, but we must treat with the biggest story, which is the fines. Now, the 17,000, I told folks this morning, don't be alarmed, because last year around the same time, it was a similar number. It was about 1,600 plus. So it seems that at the start of the year, there is this ramped up drive to get folks in a gear. And we're seeing long lines by the inspection stations. We're seeing folks didn't even realize license was expired. People driving with no insurance. I mean, that's a no-no. Some folks genuinely, honestly, officer, they really don't know. They don't know the license expired. They don't take a note of it. But I guess this exercise here now, and with the current fine structure, I think everyone needs to really pay attention and probably put a little reminder somewhere to not be caught in this web of tickets that's clearly in a disproportionate kind of manner right now. I mean, 19,000 and stuff people having to deal with.
Well, let me first say to you, Mr. Williams, and Trinidad and Tobago, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is not out to terrorize any motorists. We are not out to be unjust, wicked, unfair, unethical to anybody out there. We don't make the policies. Yeah? We cannot increase or decrease fines. And even there are cases where somebody may find themselves and believe that they should not have gotten that ticket. You would have to understand that the motorists have to commit some sort of breach, whether it's tint, whether it's driving dangerously, whether it's no seat belt, whether it's using your cell phone, etc., to be issued a fixed penalty ticket in the first place. What the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service want to see, and what we believe the public would appreciate, is changed behavior by way of compliance. The fines, indeed, it has risen, it has doubled. But if you don't do anything, you would not be fined. So do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, and you will not be fined, you'll be fined.
You'll be fine, yes, yes, I understand. But is there room at all for discretion if somebody really genuinely didn't realize, let's say the license expire a couple of days or a week, they just really, you know, a small infraction?
The thing about it, I hear you with that discretion. No, there's no room for that. And I would tell you why. No, this is not something as simple as officer driving down the road and my vehicle just went into that pothole and the back bulb blew. I didn't know it blew. It's not something as simple as that. What if your license expires at 8 a.m. this morning, and whilst on your way to an 11 o'clock appointment at license office, you get into an accident?
What happens?
And that's what I'm saying. For that period, you don't have a license.
So you're in problems.
And your insurance covers what? A licensed driver. So you're now looking at, you're not being covered by the insurance and you're driving on an expired license. So let's say that person gets into an accident, the insurance refuses to fix because the onus is on you now. So let's say I have a fancy vehicle and somebody gets into an accident because their license has expired and they are on the way to the licensing office to have it renewed. But for that period, they have no license. And your insurance only covers a licensed driver. Then who fixes your vehicle?
Are you surprised by the long lines in terms of those who were not in compliance and trying to obviously put things together?
I am I am indeed surprised, but when you look, and this is not the first time because there was a rush for inspection stickers years ago under a different government, you know, I find there should not have to be an increase in fines to provoke compliance. It makes me wonder as a motorist. Like, for instance, I inspected my vehicle in November 2025. Before this, because I knew the age of my vehicle and that my vehicle needed to be inspected, all we're asking for is persons to be responsible and do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. Don't wait, because it's $300. We all find money to do what we want to do. Agreed?
Of course.
$300.
Compared to 2,000.
We have no need to have this amount of lines. Let us do the right thing. Because we all say, I'm a law-abiding citizen. And a law-abiding citizen means doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do.
Indeed, and you know, I'm happy we were able to touch on it, and I guess we will expand on the conversation in the weeks ahead.
But let me ask you this: how do you feel about my response?
No, I think it's fair. I just the part that I still need to work on is when you said no room for the discretion, no room for the blind, and I believe there's always that human. Because I spoke this morning about the human interaction, and let's probably touch on that. If the motorists, because I've always heard on the program they say you comply and then complain. I know sometimes people go into attitude, they go into a mood, and the interaction goes downhill one time between officer and motorist. If someone stays calm, if they're respectful, if they, I wouldn't say, they're not like they're trying to bat a smile and trying to mama guy, but they just stay calm, cool. I think that person might have a better chance of being able to get a second chance as opposed to the person who face upside down and very upset to see you. But
Mr. Williams, it will all depend on the offense. Because let's say you're driving under the influence.
No, well, of course. No, it's not blind there.
If it's something like
a tail light, you see the tail light.
Now explain the same thing with the tail light. If you bought blue and and I think I would have heard the Prime Minister, the Honorable Prime Minister on TV last night, speaking about giving discretion based on the offense. There are some offenses that we could give discretion for. But let me tell you something. Discretion is solely on the police officer. He or she does not have to.
Yeah, I understand.
And you should not be upset if at that point in time, because let me tell you this, Mr. Williams, Trinidad and Tobago motoring community would give you an excuse for driving on the shoulder.
Yeah. What's the best you would have heard?
I have an emergency. My wife is home. She's pregnant and have to go now. But you are driving on the shoulder, risking your life and somebody else. It's like, now let's say that emergency is really genuine and you happen to get in an accident, you knock down somebody, you now put somebody's family that in another problem and yourself while rushing to an emergency. So you still didn't reach it one time. You're now in more hot water because you are driving on the shoulder and you got into an accident.
Yeah, went from...
You open to civil suit and all kind of things.
Went from the frying pan into the fire there. But yeah, I understand. And I think, I understand. There is certain infractions. No, there's no room there, no insurance. I mean, come on, it's not blind there. But I guess, as you said, it's really based on that interaction, based on the infraction. And how you treat with it. Let me ask you... in terms of, as we back to school now, just some tips, Officer Russell, as the students, the parents, and motorists and everyone. We back to the second term and back to, heavy traffic again and the school children out and about. Some tips.
What I want to tell the parents in Trinidad and Tobago, you are that first guardian of your child. Speak to your children. Tell them about the behaviors that is required at school. Teach them to respect authority, which is teachers, police, firemen, etc., the principal, the deans. Go through your children's book, go through their knapsacks and stuff like that. Go through their cell phones, see what content that they are looking at. It is important that you encourage the younger children not to take jobs from strangers. For parents as well, verify persons who you are hiring to do transport for your children. Ensure that their license is in order, that their vehicle has been inspected. Ensure that you put on their seat belts before you move off. Ensure that persons are using the Bluetooth who are driving your children. And there are so many things. Our motorists, school is open again. Be careful your speed in the school zones. Pay attention.
That's serious. We do. I think we take that for granted here.
Very much so.
In the U.S., Florida especially.
Oh, the ticket, the fine is double.
Listen, you have to drive almost at a dead slow. Yeah, I mean they take that very serious overseas.
School zone and work zone, where construction is going on. We need to really take stock.
Yes, P. Russell, do you and officers pull up on students who are out of school during school hours, like random 9:30, 10 o'clock, they're just driving around the place? Because yesterday I saw about 9:30, about 5 children in uniform just traipsing on the Eastern Main Road.
Of course we do, because we want to know why are they not in school. There is a team in Barataria that I usually see on an evening. They always out ensuring that the children, they park the police vehicle and ensure that the children get into vehicles quickly to go on their way to their respective homes, rather than have them lingering. When they start to linger, the devil will indeed find work for idle hands.
And that's where sometimes you could have clash and and sometimes people waiting for special car. I mean, we all went to school. We know
definitely.
We know the culture. But you're still very much active.
We are still very much. You see, we want to really, it's not just about enforcement of laws, but we want to prevent. We don't want to go there and come after the fight happen, or after someone is injured. We don't want to have to come out there to issue you a ticket. We want, when we stop you, your driver's permit is valid, your insurance is valid, your vehicle. Because look, we are in the dry season, but rain is forecasted for the weekend. There are some persons say who have the opinion, well, rain not falling, so I wouldn't buy the new tires yet.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. As we wrap things up, after kudos, I would have seen a tremendous presence during Christmas, all in the Kwezi, police on the main road moving. Is it that that exercise will continue into 2026, into Carnival and beyond?
Well, let me tell you, yes, it will definitely continue, and I thank you for the kudos. I say thanks to all the members of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, from the Commissioner, the Executive, the First and Second Division officers, because I am one who I am totally aware of the sacrifices that our men and women within the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service make to ensure that Trinidad and Tobago is a safer place.
Well, ESP Russell, I mean, we always have our frank, open, honest discussions, and I think that's a great way. We had a great one to start 2026.
Definitely.
And let's monitor, what's happening there on the roads, and let's keep everyone abreast of all developments. ESP Russell, all the best. Be safe. Godspeed. Next week we do it again.
Thank you very much. Have a good day, Trinidad and Tobago.
Up next, your mental health matters with Johanse, our first conversation for 2026. He's asking, what's new?
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh-cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488, 701-6680, 728-6786, or visit our website to order.
Period nights don't have to look like this. Move less, wake up to change. So change for a real night's sleep with Always Overnight. Its 3 times protection system absorbs, locks the fluid, and keeps it away from your skin. For protected nights without leaks. Always.
In the ever-changing media landscape, we at Guardian Media strive always to put you, our viewers and readers, first.
We strive to uphold the time-honored tenets of responsible journalism.
For us, accuracy is key.
And in our reporting, we strive not only to be first, but fair,
impartial,
and to uphold journalistic integrity.
Above all, we are accountable to you, and we must respect the views of our audience. That is our solemn contract with you.
Keen attention to detail,
rigorous verification of facts,
use of credible sources, and sound editorial judgment.
Keep track of our editorial policies and guidelines, including our corrections policy, by logging on to www.guardian.co.tt for more.
Some of us like to test limits, but there won't always be second chances. Obey the speed limits. Maybe you don't value your life, but others value theirs. A message from the TTPS.
Johanse Arodike joins me on the Zoom line this morning to get into our first Mental Health Matters discussion for 2026. In that regard, Johanse, Happy New Year to you. I thoroughly enjoyed last year, and I look forward to more insightful and thought-provoking discussions for 2026. Great to see you, bro. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to everybody viewing.
You want to say what's new? That's the topic today. What's new? Let's talk.
That's the thing, you know, is that supposedly we in a new year is 2026, right?
Yeah.
That's what most people are celebrating. But what was really new, and I'm posing that question for people to also ask themselves that question, because we celebrate it, but many times nothing has been new. And even sometimes how we define what is new. Most times, and this is when I ask, you know how I do it. I usually ask people questions beforehand to see kind of get a little consensus. And most people, their definition for new is it wasn't there before, and it's there now. So they create something. So whether it is to buy something, it's a habit, it's a mindset, etc. Something new there. But opposing something different this morning is that something could be there all the time, but you didn't know it was there, and you now discover it, and it's also new. Tell me your thoughts on that.
Yeah, it makes sense, because I mean the turning of a new year is really just the changing of a date, the movement on the calendar. But then there is so much sentimental value and emotion attached to it. So I guess people within their own mind, you know, you conjure up something that you want to do, you want to start something, and you tell yourself, it's almost like picking a date for, let's say, a wedding or some kind of big celebration. There's a certain significance that comes with the date, because whether it's close to a birthday, close to some kind of, you know, there is a significance. And I guess for New Year's, the significance of that changing of the calendar, for many people, they in their mind, they tell themselves, hey, it's a new day, a new page, a new chance to get it correct. A new start.
And good. So you say in their mind. So proposing something different, maybe before you consider something new, is like go to a three steps. And this is the same 3 steps as what human behavior defined as. We go into thought, into feeling, into action. So you think something, hey, I want to eat better this year, I want to go to the gym, I want to do whatever it is. So that's a thought, right? And then you get a certain feeling around it. Most times it's a nice feeling. All right, it's a new year, the significance of the day, you feel good. But the action part, and it shouldn't be considered new until there is action.
Oh, so the newness really comes from turning the words into meaningful action.
Correct.
And I would imagine consistency comes in after that, because it can't just be a start and is a one-off. There must be that level of consistency for it to maintain a newness that will now become part of your daily routine.
Yes, I agree with that, but I don't even want to reach that far yet, right? Because sometimes the consistency could even start to frighten people and have them uncomfortable. Let me just even start with the action, because sometimes people only stay in the thought, right? New year, new me, and that's a thought, but nothing is put in place. You don't even do anything.
So in a way, you answer a resolution is almost like does it work? Is it that you're training up your own self?
That's good. Chaining up mean when you chain up somebody that's actually do it, so it's not, you're not even reaching as far as chaining up yourself, because sometimes action don't even follow it. It's more of a delusion, right? You're in this imaginary world, you imagine yourself slim, you imagine yourself saving money, you imagine all the things, and then you feel good about it, and then you continue doing the same thing you used to do last year or the year before.
What about surrounding yourself with people who are like-minded to maintain that particular vision? So let's say the plan is to lose weight. If you're part of a group or you join a gym or you're part of a little community that they have that commitment, you might probably very well. I mean, sometimes do you think we need help to get over the line with our resolutions and for us to start something new? Is it a solo journey or is it a collective journey?
Many times, yes, being in a group is a wonderful thing, because what you're seeing around you starts to influence you. Let's call it peer pressure, right? Peer pressure don't always have to be a bad thing, right? If everybody around me saving money, then do it. If everybody around me investing, maybe I will start doing it too. But The danger is when you depend on the group too much. So the group should be like a start. It's more like the group is training wheels. So I couldn't do it on my own. I guess some assistance again, gear. But because if you depend on the group, if there's no more group, that means you're going unstopped. And that is the dangerous part. So I agree. Start with a group. Start with people who doing the same things you want to do, but the mindset is don't depend on it. I don't have to need them to do it.
So how does one create something new for themselves? Let's say the group is into behaviors that you're trying to move away from. So I'll say namely, let's say smoking, drinking. But that's your community. That's your after work squad. You go there to unwind. Should one remove themselves from a group? So let's look at it from the flip side. You know, when you're trying to change a particular habit, start new, start afresh. What's your advice in that regard? Should one remove themselves from their community if they're trying to walk a different path in life?
Now, this might sound a little strange, but if you, and we started with your mind first, like the process we spoke about before, in your mind, I want to stop doing X, Y, Z, but my group still doing it. From the time it starts in your mind, you'll start to feel uncomfortable. So even though you don't remove yourself immediately, sometimes inevitably, you are removed because either you start to feel sick doing anything, you start to get frustrated, you start to feel resentment, and eventually you yourself wouldn't be in the group. So yes, it's better to remove yourself immediately because you give yourself better timing. But what I would say is once it starts to happen in your mind, it will start to cause problems. It's like, you know, once you learn something, you can't unlearn it. Once you see something, you can't unsee it. So from the time that newness starts in your mind, eventually you will remove yourself from the group, or the group will remove you because they realize, wait now, this man or this woman not enjoying this, they're not as fun doing X, Y, Z, I find it not really into it, and they might remove you before you remove yourself.
You answer final question before, so in your research, and through your interactions with folks that you've counseled, you think we are better equipped when something is new via a shocking circumstance, when we have to be jolted into action? Let's say someone at the start of the year, they're not with a job anymore and they have to find a way to get over the line, or is it that we can do it step by step and be strategic about getting into that place of newness and that new challenge? What works best for us as humans?
A shock is not best, but is more effective, right? So the fine's higher now, so everybody doing what they're supposed to do. It's more effective, but it's not best because anything traumatic, right? Traumatic, that if you have to go through trauma for change, right? Trauma leaves some sort of emotional scars, mental and emotional scars. It brings in too much rush. I'm rushing now to do whatever it is. I should have stopped smoking or whatever it is before, and I'm sick now, so I'm rushing to get insurance. I'm rushing for treatment. It's always better to do it step by step. But for many people, and I think more than 50%, the shock is more effective.
Wow. Your answer, I'll give you the final say.
Nation, before you decide something is new, make sure there's some action behind it. Don't make life complicated, because even though life is not easy, it's really not that hard. Thank you for listening.
Sincere thanks, Johanse. All the best as always, and we'll continue God's Spare next week with more via our Mental Health Matters. Johanse IODK, this and every Thursday. Up next, Ian Wason steps in right here on the seat for the morning shot, that in-depth look at sport. God's Spare, I'm back for more tomorrow at 6 a.m. Ian, he's up next.
The best back-to-school specials at Southern Food Baskets. Gala apples, 10 for $20. Tyson chicken leg quarters, 11 pounds, $94.95. Sunland chicken breast, 4 pounds, $94.95. Forte Frost straight cut fries, 2 for $69.95. Swiss Spouch ketchup, 2 for $19.95. Swiss macaroni and spaghetti, 400 grams, 4 for $19.95. Swiss lasagna, 2 for $23.95. Aquapure, 330 ml, 5 cases for $90. Offers available while stocks last.
Are you tired of the same old boring drive home from work?
Look no further.
Get ready for the ultimate after-work rush with Freedom 106.5 FM's The Overdrive with Davey. Mondays to Fridays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Let Davey take you on a thrilling ride of non-stop entertainment and education. He covers the topics of the day, delves into the latest food and lifestyle trends, and brings dynamic guests from exciting professions to share their professional stories and experiences. Take advantage of this energizing and engaging experience. Tune into Freedom 106.5 FM, Mondays to Fridays, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. for The Overdrive with Davey, the ultimate way to end your day with a bang.
This is more than just music. This is where you find the best of TNT. This is more than just a vibe. This is where Bollywood gets a twist. This is more than just energy. This is Bhangra and indie pop too. This is the mix. This is the life. Lock on or log on now. Sangeet 106.1 FM. This is authentic East Indian radio. This is us.
Some of us like to test limits, but there won't always be second chances. Obey the speed limits. Maybe you don't value your life, but others value theirs. A message from the TTPS.
Sportsmanship is when an athlete walks off the court and you can't tell if he won or lost because he carries himself with pride either way. This quote is an embodiment of sport, and for me, sport is an embodiment of life. We are where you are.
Filmmakers, producers, content creators, influencers, and recording artists. If you're looking to rent a versatile studio space with green screen, video wall, cyclorama, and more, look no further. GM Labs is here to make your dreams a reality. Located in the heart of Port of Spain on St. Vincent Street, GM Labs is your one-stop shop for all your creative needs with over 2,800 square feet to work with. Take your creative concept to the final product at GM Labs. Give us a call or WhatsApp or message us on our Instagram and Facebook pages at GM Labs TT.
Get the story first. Want to know what's happening in news, sports, or crime? Get the CNC3 app. As the story breaks, CNC3 is there giving you the story first on your mobile device. Be connected to the most trusted and reliable news source, CNC3. Access your world with just a tap. The CNC3 app. Download it today.
Y'all finna learn y'allself something now. Johnny. Yo. Come on, boy. Sexy fabric that makes a good stripper name.
Well, she might be from the hood, Steve, so
come on, boy.
I'm gonna say polyester, bro.
Polyester? This stripper's name polyester. You don't... Polyester!
Family Feud. Two families battle it out for bragging rights. Family Feud. Weekdays at 5:30 p.m. only on CNC3.
Good morning and welcome to 2026 first show of the Morning Shot. And we have, of course, we are talking cricket because cricket, we started with cricket next week. The Women's T20 Blaze, the Under-19 Cricket World Cup that West Indies will take part in Namibia and I think Zimbabwe. And of course, the big man T20 World Cup, the West Indies will take part in Sri Lanka and India. But of course, before they go to that, West Indies will play Afghanistan and South Africa in T20 series. But before we go into cricket and some aerobics that we have this morning, let's look at the back page of today's Guardian. And of course, it's cricket. Shamar and Alzari, the two Josephs, they pass fitness tests according to the chief medical person at the Cricket West Indies, Dr. Donovan Bennett. He was talking on a Barbados cricket talk show on Tuesday, and he confirmed that Shamar and Alzari Joseph, they are both ready. Now, they haven't played for West Indies for a while. They have been injured. Shamar's last match was the CPL final, and he was in India, but he had to go home because of his injury. Alzari Joseph has been injured, and they both did not play in the West Indies series from September to now. They didn't go to India, they didn't go to Bangladesh, they didn't go to New Zealand. So hopefully they will be not just be fit but in form, because if you haven't played cricket in quite a while, it would erode on some of their form. But let's hope they get some good match practice, match games, get some games under their belts against Afghanistan so that they can be ready for the T20 World Cup. But it would be glad to have them back. At the bottom of the page, as we talk about the women's T20 and the T20 Blaze, Ramarak will skipper the Red Force Divas. That's Karishma Ramarak. She's the reigning Women's Player of the Year. We talked about the West Indies under 19 team. They have left the Grantley Adams Airport in Barbados on Monday or Tuesday, and they head off to Africa, and they're trying to become the second West Indies team to win the under 19 World Cup, to follow the team that was led by Shimron Hetmyer, which is 10 years already. That was 10 years ago already in 2016. And of course, that was also the last time West Indies won the T20 World Cup. So a lot of things to make up for this year. Let's hope that we can reverse the poor 2025 that we had.